This terrifying tale comes from a subscriber. So, let's begin. In 2004, a driver in Accra, Ghana was driving his Tro Tro, which is like a minibus, full of passengers. It was late at night and he had just dropped off the last passenger. As he was driving, a woman started waving at his bus from the roadside. The driver stopped and wound down his window. The woman asked him if she could get on the bus, and he agreed. She got on the bus and sat quietly in the back. She didn't talk to any of the passengers, and she didn't say a word. And he didn't think much of it. He drove them all to their destination in silence. When he arrived, the passengers got off and they all paid their fare. Then he turned to the woman and asked her how much she owed him. But before she could say anything, she got off the bus without paying. The driver was confused and thought maybe she paid the other passengers. So he asked them, "How much change do I have?" They were all confused because they hadn't received any money from the woman and neither had they seen her pay the driver. Then the driver noticed that the woman was gone. She had vanished. So he asked the passengers again, "Where did the woman go?" They stared at him and said, "Driver, there was never a woman." The driver was shaken and scared. His heart began to race and his hands started to sweat. He looked around frantically trying to find the woman, but she was nowhere to be found. There was no sign of her anywhere. He told the passengers that he definitely saw a woman board his bus. He was sure of it. But they insisted that he was mistaken. They had been sitting in the front of the bus and would have definitely seen her if she was there. They said that maybe he had fallen asleep and imagined the whole thing. But he knew that wasn't true. He was wide awake when she boarded his bus. He described the woman to the passengers, but none of them recognized her. She was wearing a long flowing dress and a headscarf, and although her face was covered, he could tell that she was beautiful. He remembered thinking that she must have been an angel sent from heaven because she had appeared out of nowhere and then disappeared just as quickly. The passengers tried to calm him down and told him that he should forget about the woman and focus on driving, but he couldn't. He kept thinking about the woman and wondering where she went. He decided that he needed to stop at the next checkpoint so that he could tell the police what happened. Maybe they would be able to help him find the woman or at least give him some answers. But as he drove towards the checkpoint, he saw the woman standing by the road. She was waving at him. He couldn't believe his eyes. Was she really there, or was he just imagining things? He stopped the bus and wound down his window. The woman asked him if she could get on the bus, and he agreed. But this time, he called the police and told them to meet him at the next stop. As the woman sat in the back of the bus, the driver kept glancing at her, trying to make sure that she wasn't a ghost. He didn't want to be rude, but he couldn't help himself. The woman seemed to sense his gaze and turned to him. She smiled at him, and that's when he saw her face. It was beautiful, just as he had remembered. But there was something strange about it. Her eyes were glowing red. The driver screamed and slammed on the brakes. The passengers screamed and fell forward. "Get out! Get out!" he shouted at the top of his lungs. The woman looked at him, her eyes blazing with anger. "What did I do?" she asked in a voice that sounded like nails on a chalkboard. The driver didn't answer. He just kept screaming for the passengers to get out. They all did, except for one man who was too scared to move. The woman turned to him, her eyes fixed on him. "Are you coming or should I make you?" she asked. The man screamed and scrambled out of the bus. The driver called the police again, but this time they didn't come. Maybe they thought it was another prank call. He got back in the bus and drove away as fast as he could. He never looked back. And that is the end of the story. Now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below and let me know what you thought of the story. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more scary tales. We upload multiple times per week.